Good morning and happy Friday, and welcome to Relationship Communications Weekly Live. I'm Lisa DeToffel, your host, and today we're going to talk about some networking tips. Okay, networking is very important if you're a business owner, and our community, Relationship Communications, is all about networking. If you're not a part of our community, head on over to Facebook. It's a Facebook group called Relationship Communications. It's a free group to be a part of. And I would love to welcome you in there. We have over 500 members already, so there's a very large community that you can network with, and we would love to have you. So if you're joining me live today, please do say hello. Let me know you're here. Let me know where you're coming in from. If you are watching this later, please do use hashtag replay. We're also streaming on multiple different platforms, so if you are watching on our YouTube channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe, ring the bell on our YouTube channel so that you can be notified every time that we do go live. Hello, Stephanie. Good morning. So glad that you're here. So, for those of you that are joining us for the first time, I am the founder of Relationship Communications, where I coach and mentor established and aspiring professionals to create, grow, and scale their network. Relationship Communications Weekly Live is a tactical and practical show that we do every week at the same time, every Friday morning at 10 a.m. So I hope that you'll put this on your calendar and make plans to join us every Friday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Again, if you're joining live, I'd love to hear from you. So do say hello and let me know where you're coming in from. We are sponsored by Tiger Eye Solution. And at Tiger Eye Solution, we work with speakers, coaches, and professionals to help them grow their business. Tiger Eye Solution is my virtual assistant business. So we help our clients in these areas and help them grow their business so that they can focus more on being the CEO and do what they love to do within their business. And we do this virtually and in our online communities. Before we dive into our topic today, I want to introduce myself a little bit because I do know that we have some new people, and because there's been a lot of new people joining the Facebook group, which is awesome. Welcome. If you are new, I'd love to welcome you personally. And then, of course, there are people that are just streaming in different places and listening to us today. So this was me, oh my goodness, 5.5 years ago when I was actually a preschool teacher. This was the last classroom that I was a part of. I loved my teaching years. Don't get me wrong. There's so much that I learned by being in the classroom and teaching those little ones. There's specific things that we have to teach them to get them ready for their education journey. Because, 3 and 4 year olds, that's where they start, is in a preschool class. So I learned a lot, I taught a lot, and it helped make me into part of who I am today. I love to teach. That's why I like to help others as well, learn different things they may not know about the professional world, the online space, etc., and about networking. I do have a networking academy as well. If you are just getting started in your business or just getting started with your networking and would love to learn more, let's have a conversation. And I can talk to you about the Networking Academy as well and how that would be beneficial to you. So this was me in the classroom. And then, of course, during those 25 years, I also was a single mom twice. This was one of those times, myself and my 3 children, during one of those times that I was a single mother. My first husband, that marriage lasted about 13 years. He is the father of my 2 boys. But that was more of a controlling type of marriage and was not good for either of us or the boys. And then after those 13 years, I married my daughter's father. Sorry, slide went up. This is what my family looks like today. But as a single mother, I married my daughter's father. We were married about 4 years, and that marriage was a roller coaster ride, to say the least. A lot of different ups and downs in different areas. And of course, my daughter was a product of that marriage. And now I am married to my wonderful husband, Jeff, who loves and supports myself and the kids and our grandchildren now in so many different ways. So although those years were a struggle, it helped me to make me into who I am today. And of course, like I said, this is what my family looks like today. My oldest son and his 2 babies, and my middle son's getting ready to be a father. And then my daughter is almost a senior in high school. Oh my goodness. They're all growing up so fast. And then the 2 little ones, that is John Price and Hattie Joe, our 2 twin grandbabies. And like I said, we have another one coming at the end of June. So next year I'll have a different picture up here with 3 grandbabies. So let's dive into our topic for today, which is networking. And networking is so important. I'm sorry, I did miss something here. In 2018, after all those years of being in the classroom, I did decide to start my business. Took a training program, earned a certification, and chose my niche area as relationship building and follow-up. Then after the pandemic in 2021, I decided to build a team, and I currently still have a team today. There's 11, including myself, on the Tiger Eye Solution team that help me serve our clients in various different areas. So if you're interested in learning more about the virtual assistant world, or working with a virtual assistant, or the Networking Academy, please let's have a conversation. You can put it in the comments below that you'd like to chat, or you can send me a private message. I'd be happy to speak with you. So diving into networking, get real about your networking, okay? Guys, I cannot stress or emphasize enough how networking can help you grow your business. It really, really can. And I'm speaking from experience. Yes, I've been in business for 5.5 years. However, I've been networking those 5.5 years as well. I still network today. Yes, has my business grown? Absolutely, it has. But am I going to stop networking and stop building those relationships? Absolutely not. Because I know how important it is to keep my business going, and for future purposes for my business as well. Our businesses change, they evolve over time. I get it. Mine has done the same. My business today does not look the same as it did back in 2018 when I first started. It's totally different. Didn't have a team back then. It was just me. I was a solopreneur, and if you'd have told me back then that I was going to have a team, I would have probably laughed and said, "You're crazy," because I didn't think I would be doing anything of that nature. However, things change. So let's dive into networking. So I want to share with you today 5 tips to help you create new relationships in your digital channels, okay, in the online space. And don't get me wrong, in-person networking is great as well. I do that sometimes also, go to local networking events in person. However, I work in the online space. My business is virtual, so the online space is where I am most of the time. So networking in the online and digital space is also important. So number 1, use the chat feature during a virtual event. One of the networking tips at events is to utilize the event platform messaging tools to interact with other participants. If you are at a networking event online in a Zoom room or something of that nature, there's a chat feature. Use it. If there's someone else in the room that you already know, send them a private message there in chat and say, "So nice to see you here," or something to that effect. Or, let's schedule a time to talk outside of this event, something like that. If there's someone there that you're just meeting for the first time at that event, and maybe you liked something they shared, something they spoke about, private message them. Let them know you would like to schedule a conversation with them outside of that event to get to know them better or learn more about what it is they shared or what it is they do, whatever the case may be. Utilize that chat, okay? So unlike in-person events where it's uncommon to have private conversations during presentations or Zoom calls, a virtual one doesn't have restrictions. So to start a conversation in a chat, you can ask your network about their thoughts about the topic, or whether or what the speaker said. Maybe there is a specific speaker at that specific event you're at, and you liked something they said. Well, ask the other person, how did you feel about that? Or is Was that something that was helpful for you? Whatever you want to ask them about a specific thing the speaker said, you can ask them. Then, side discussions can help build trust with new people. When you do it right, they can also feel that you are valuable and that their opinions and ideas are important to you, right? If you've started a conversation and you're discussing, maybe whatever the topic is about that the speaker's talking about at that specific event, you can have a discussion with someone in the chat about that. And then if you want to take the discussion further, have a private conversation after the event is over. Schedule a time to talk at another time after the event has happened, okay? Of course, before you start chatting if it's someone new, you definitely want to introduce yourself, okay? So a good self-introduction or help you break the ice, so to speak, and create a good impression on others, okay? Now, some networking events, especially if they're in Zoom, may allow you to introduce yourself. They may go around the room and give everybody that opportunity to actually introduce themselves and, state who they are, what their business is, what they do, etc. So some do that, some do not. It just depends on what specific kind of event you are attending. So if they do that, then you've already kind of introduced yourself to the new people there that you may not know. So then you could start a conversation in the chat. But if they kind of piqued your interest just maybe by something they said when they were introducing themselves, by all means reach out and chat and say, I really liked blah blah blah, whatever it is they said. Could we have a conversation after this event so we could discuss that further? I'd like to learn more. Something to that effect, right? You can ask all kinds of questions and get all kinds of information or schedule all kind of different type of conversations after the event has taken place, okay? It's also a great way to make a new friend, meet new people, feel more comfortable also around you after you make that introduction and build a little bit of trust, tell them who you are and what you do. Then they're going to feel a little bit more comfortable about talking to you or even responding to you in chat, right? And then, of course, if you ask to schedule a time to talk after the event, you definitely want them to feel comfortable enough and trust you enough to actually agree to having that conversation, right? So introductions during a virtual networking event are necessary because they show your confidence in meeting new people, right? Briefly say your name and share what it is you do to introduce yourself to others effectively. You definitely want to make sure you do this effectively, right? And specifically, you don't want to just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. That's going to be a whole lot more confusing for those that are listening. You want to be direct, straight to the point, so to speak, right? Like I said, state your name, maybe your company name. Like for me, it would be I'm Lisa DeToffel from Tiger Eye Solution. That's my name. That's my business name. And then I could briefly describe what I do or what my business does and who we like to work with, right? So again, mention the organization or your business that you're representing and make it memorable. The information you are sharing as you're introducing yourself, make it memorable for those that are listening. That way they're going to remember your name and who you are. And they may actually reach out to you outside the event and request to have a conversation. All right. So always speak clearly as well. And remember to smile when you are sharing your information and introducing yourself. You can also involve attendees in communication on a personal level when you're constantly making eye contact. If it's a networking event that you attend on a regular basis, like for me, in-person networking events that I go to, I'm a part of a couple of organizations here in my local area. So they have meetings on a regular basis Do I get to make it to all of them? No, not necessarily, but I try to make it to as many of them as I can. So when I do go to those in-person meetings, I'm more than likely going to see some of the same people, right? So I definitely want to make eye contact when I'm speaking to them and, have a smile, share something new, right? I mean, yes, they know who I am and they know what my business is and what I do, what my business does. However, maybe I have something new going on in my business or, whatever it is, I can share that with them too, because that's something new they don't know about as of yet. Okay, moving on. Number 3, organize and document your connections. This is very important. When you meet new people, you definitely want to have somewhere to put their name and their information, right? So some people use the contacts app on their phone to keep track of their contacts. Others use digital notes and apps or apps specific to networking. There's different apps out there available that you can use. Or some use a simple spreadsheet. If you're just starting out and you don't want to have so many different apps or even pay for an app, because some of them you have to pay for as well. You can use something as simple as a spreadsheet, right? So simply note the person's contact information, their name, their business, maybe their email or phone number, whatever contact information you have. And other details such as where you met or who introduced you. Sometimes if you go to an in-person networking event, like I said, I already know other people at the ones that I attend. Then someone I know possibly could introduce me to someone I don't know. Somebody that's new or somebody maybe that's just attending the event for the first time, right? So you definitely want to take notes anytime you're meeting new people, whether it's online or in person. Jot down the date maybe of when you met and something personal or specific that would be helpful, that they shared with you, or a need that they have. Maybe in the conversation that you're having with them, you can hear them expressing or explaining a specific need that they have, right? You may or may not be able to meet that specific need, but you may know someone, you may have someone in your network that can meet that need, and you could make an introduction, right? So it's important to build your network. You're not going to be able to help everybody, so don't think that way. Building your network is important. Having a diverse people in your network is also important, just because, like I said, you're not going to be able to help everyone, but you want to have different people in your network so that you can refer others to them. When you're meeting new people and you meet somebody that Stephanie can help, right? Stephanie's here with me today. Thank you, Stephanie, for being here. Then I would make that introduction, right, to whomever that new person is. And I know that Stephanie and that person will be a good fit, right? Hello, Facebook user. I can't see your name, but I'm so glad you're here with us today. So again, jot down the date, something personal or specific that would be helpful, that they shared with you about themselves, their business, or maybe a need that they have. It doesn't matter if you have all their contact info to start, just document their first and last name and a couple of details, right? Even if you're just starting out with that spreadsheet, like I mentioned earlier, make sure you have their first and last name so you know who they are. If possible, their business name, and then a couple of details. That way, when you reach back out to them, you can say something about that, right? All right, moving on. Number 4, lifelong connections. Now, this is also important. I have a few lifelong connections. Stephanie and I met, oh my goodness, I don't remember how many years ago. So I've known Stephanie for a good little while now, right? So she's a part of my network because I've known her for a while, and I'm a part of hers because we know each other and we know what each other does, right? So lifelong connections are important. So let's chat about that for a minute. It's easy to underestimate the value of making connections, but these relationships are vital. for the span of your professional career, whatever path you choose to take, whether you're working in the virtual world or, out here at a 9 to 5 in the professional world out there. The connections you make are vital and so, so important, okay? Networking is not only about securing business opportunities, but should be about inspiring ideas, sharing information, and collaborating. Those who matter will be better placed to success. If you have a great network, a sphere of people that you can reach out to at any given time. Like I said, Stephanie and I have known each other for a while. Do we do the same things? Absolutely not. Her business is totally different than mine. However, we know exactly what each other does. So if I'm meeting new people and I know Stephanie could possibly help them, then I would make that introduction. Or if she meets someone new and she knows what I could possibly help that person, then she would introduce me to that person. So I could possibly have the conversation, or she could have the conversation with the person and see how we could help them, right? So it's very, very important. And it's not a competition either. I want to add this in there too. Some people look at it as, well, I don't want to introduce you to this person because I want to help them so I can make the money. It's not about that. It's not about that at all. And you don't need to make it about that, okay? We're all in business, yes, to succeed. And part of being in business is making the money, don't get me wrong. But we're all also here to help support each other and help each other be successful, right? That's what your network should be all about. That's why you have a network, and that's why you want to build your network. My network is very large. Like I said, just the Relationship Communications Facebook group's got over 500 people in it. But that's not the only people that's in my network. I have others that are not even in that group that's a part of my network, right? So my network's very, very large. The longer you're in business, the larger your network's going to be, right? Because it's going to continue to grow. Therefore, you have even more people that's going to help support you and your business, possibly make introductions to people they think that you can help, etc. All right, moving on. Number 5, you want to look and dress professional. Don't get me wrong. I work in the virtual space, right? And I work in comfortable pants and a t-shirt 90% of the time. I really do. Because if I'm not on screen, it doesn't matter. If I'm not going out to a networking event or to meet someone, for a coffee chat in person, then it doesn't matter what I'm wearing, right? Or if I do have maybe Zoom calls scheduled or something, then as long as I look professional from the waist up, I'm good, right? And that's kind of what I said here too. I wear comfortable pants and a t-shirt most days. But when I go out to a network event or get on a Zoom call, I make sure I look professional and stylish, at least from the waist up, like I said. I sometimes, get help from a stylist, and a stylist has helped me put together several outfits from the clothing that I already own. In other words, the clothes that are already in my closet, right? You don't have to go out, especially if you're just starting out, you don't have to go out and buy a whole new wardrobe. That's not necessary. Use the items you already have. If you need help, need to talk to a stylist to see if a stylist can help you, reach out. I can refer you to one. I'm not a stylist myself. That's not what I do. But I can refer you to a stylist to get the assistance and help you need, okay? Like I said, I've worked with a stylist before, and she's put together several outfits from the clothing that I already own. And they look great and make me look confident and professional. Especially when I leave the house to go to an in-person networking event, I definitely want to feel confident and look professional if I'm going to a networking event or to a professional coffee chat or meeting or something, right? Or if I'm just getting on a Zoom call, that's okay too, just to look professional from the waist up. Now, I know it can be scary to invest in your business, but if you're careful, you don't need to spend a lot. or a lot of time to make a great impression. And those first impressions are so, so important. Okay. So that's why no matter if you're in the virtual space or, in person, you want to look professional. Okay. If you have any questions about anything that I shared today, or you might want to work with a stylist, right, to see what kind of professional outfits you can put together with the clothes that you already have, reach out, let me know. I'll be happy to introduce you to one. Thank you so much, Stephanie and Facebook user, for joining me live today. I appreciate that. And again, if you're not a part of the Relationship Communications Facebook group, head on over to Facebook, put Relationship Communications in the search bar. You should find the group. It's got a banner at the top with my photo on it. We'd love to welcome you to the group. And the group also has a VIP club that I would love to invite you to. What the VIP club is it's extension, if you will, to Relationship Communications. It is a paid club to be a part of. It's $27 a month. However, I have a spring special going on right now. You can get started for $17 a month. So that's a really good deal. But in the VIP club, what we do is we meet twice a month. Of course, you'll get invited to a private Facebook group where we chat in there as well, the people that's a part of the VIP club. But you also get invited to 2 different meetings a month. We have a Q&A session once a month where you can bring any questions whatsoever you have around the professional world, business world, whatever, and we will answer your questions. And it's not just me answering your questions. It's everybody in attendance at that particular meeting can help answer your questions, whatever your question is, okay? So our first meeting of the month is a Q&A session. Then the second meeting of the month, I like to call a party. We all come together and we celebrate all our wins and accomplishments that we have accomplished in the previous month. I think that is so, so important that you celebrate what you have accomplished, not just maybe check a box. Okay, I did that and move on to the next thing. Take time, whether it's just, a couple of hours or a day, whatever, time frame you have available, and celebrate accomplishing something. Right now, I'm working on, well, not just me, one of my team members is helping me work on revamping my website. It's taken us a little while to revamp it and get everything in there that I want in there. But when it's done, I'm really going to be celebrating because I'm excited about what it's going to look like, the new, look of it, all the new information that's going to be on the website, all the different things that's going to be there. I'm super, super excited. So I'm definitely going to be celebrating when that website's done. But that's something that is important, is to celebrate. And it kind of helps hold you accountable as well to come to the party meetings that we have to celebrate. That holds you accountable to complete those things that you have on your to-do list, right? Those tasks or those goals, whatever it is you have on your to-do list. It helps hold you accountable to getting them done and completed, right? Facebook user says the prospective clients buy you first. Absolutely. First impressions are key. You are absolutely right. So back to looking professional, right? To when you go to those networking events or Zoom meetings, you definitely want to look professional and be confident in yourself and in what you're sharing with others about you and your business. You definitely want to be confident when you go to these meetings and you talk. I know it's hard. Don't get me wrong. I've been there. It is hard to talk about yourself. It's very hard. It's so easy to talk about other people, maybe in their business, but it's hard to talk about yourself sometimes. So practice. The advice I would give you there is before you go to an event, whether it's online or in person, practice what you want to say when you're introducing yourself, okay? Your elevator speech, if you will. That is something that we learn about in the Networking Academy, as well as how to create that elevator speech and the specific items that you need to include in it so that it's straight to the point and it's going to be memorable for those that are listening to you introduce yourself, right? So yes, very, very important. Again, if you have any questions about anything I shared today, please do reach out. Thank you so much, Stephanie and Facebook user, for joining me today. I hope everyone has a great weekend, and I will see you again soon.